Hello there guys, it's Cage-Side Convo back here with another video, and today I am going to be covering a couple of big fights that have been announced in the recent past. Now, I know some of these fights were a bit late, one of them is actually perfectly on time, but yeah, I apologise for not uploading. I am back now, and so yeah, let's not bore you with a long intro. Let's get into the video. So, the first fight and the most recently announced one is Cormier Johnson 2. They were scheduled to fight at UFC 206 or 207. I don't know, it was one of them. Cormier, as usual, had an injury. I highly doubt this fight will go ahead due to another injury for Cormier, but we can only wait and see for that one. Now, Anthony Johnson is his opponent, probably the toughest light heavyweight for Cormier to face now that John Jones he's been suspended. So yeah, this will be, in my opinion, a really interesting fight. I think that depends what Cormier's fight tactic is. If he does exactly what he did with Anderson Silva and just lay on him for the whole fight, obviously the fans aren't going to find it interesting. They'll probably get a bit of a boo, but I mean, it's not going to be an interesting fight, but Cormier will most likely win that way. But if he does decide to please the fans and stay on his feet with Johnson, then I think Johnson has a good chance of getting the win. I mean, he's an incredible knockout artist, we all know that, but I think Cormier will probably just play it safe, use his weight and his size advantage, use his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I think he'll just win the fight by decision. So, next up we have another UFC 210 announcement, and that is Gerard Mousasi versus Chris Weidman. Middleweight fight, obviously. Now, this fight really interested me when I saw it announced, because when I watched Gerard Mousasi in his last fight, I was really impressed, and the commentators kept saying about how he deserves a big fight, a title shot, like in the near future maybe. And obviously we all know that Chris Weidman's an amazing fighter, but he lost to Yoel Romero at UFC 205, so it's going to be really interesting to see how he responds to that. Obviously, Weidman is the favourite in this fight. He's a fighter who everyone recognises as being world class. I mean, right up there in the rankings for such a long time. But Mousasi he's looking absolutely solid recently. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to fault the way he's been fighting, and he could easily be in with a chance of winning this fight if he fights smart enough. Now, that is the main question, but what I will say is I believe that whoever wins this fight will be right up there in the rankings for the middleweight belt. He'll be up there with Luke Rockhold, Yoel Romero, Michael Bisping, all of them. So, really interesting fight to see. I can't wait for it to happen, but my prediction, gonna go against the odds. I'm gonna predict that Gerard Mousasi will get the win by knockout. So next up we have obviously a very, very, very exciting fight. Kabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson. Obviously, this is such an exciting fight because it is to do with the lightweight championship. Basically, whoever wins this fight has been promised a title fight against Conor McGregor. Otherwise, he will have to yet again give up his belt to the interim title holder, who is whoever wins this fight. Now, this fight has been talked about for absolutely ages, and there was a stage where Nurmagomedov was willing to give Ferguson $200,000 of his own money to take the fight. Finally, Ferguson has agreed to the fight, and it's on. Now, I think this will be a very interesting fight because Nurmagomedov is quite clearly a wrestler, a submission artist, and a very talented fighter. Ferguson is more of a well-rounded fighter. He can hit hard, his wrestling's good, his jiu-jitsu's good. So Nurmagomedov more is a specialist in one area, Ferguson is just good at all of them. I think that Nurmagomedov will quite obviously go for the submission as he did against Michael Johnson. And if he can get Ferguson to the mat and get him into a position where he's vulnerable to a submission, I think Nurmagomedov will submit him. However, as we saw in the Michael Johnson fight, Nurmagomedov can get hit. He can get hit easily and he can go down. He can get rocked. So, unless Ferguson fails to hit him, I think Ferguson has a very good chance of rocking him and of knocking him out. But, as I say, extremely exciting fight. And I can't wait to watch this one live on the 4th of March at UFC 209. Okay guys, so last but not least, we have the UFC 209 main event, Tyron Woodley versus Stephen Thompson, the rematch. Now, I'm so happy this fight went ahead, and I'll tell you why. There was so much talk. Woodley kept chasing that McGregor fight. It was all he wanted. He challenged Michael Bisping. He challenged Conor McGregor. But no question, Stephen Thompson deserved this rematch. So, the first fight was just an amazing fight. Woodley looked like he had him in the first 3 rounds. Final 2 rounds, Thompson became harder and harder to hit, and he was landing more and more shots. And although I do agree with the final decision, Woodley probably did edge it. It could have gone either way, and that is why there was actually confusion at the end of the last fight. This fight I can't wait to see. I think the way Woodley fought in the last fight, he showed that he didn't get lucky against Robbie Lawler, and he is actually an exceptional fighter. He looks very hard to beat, but Stephen Thompson, the Wonder Kid, he's so talked about, so hyped up, and he showed why again in that last fight. I think these two guys both definitely deserve to be at the very top of the welterweight championship. I can't wait for this fight to go ahead. My prediction, I'm torn between a Woodley knockout or a Thompson knockout. I don't think that this goes 5 rounds. I think they've got to know each other's fighting styles. Towards the end of the fight, they were both landing big shots. I feel whoever loses, I feel it'll be a close fight. I feel whoever loses will be a bit unlucky. But my prediction is going to be Tyron Woodley by knockout. Now then guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe. And that is pretty much all. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.